Welcome back, Undertakers. Today's video I think is a pretty cool one. I'm going to show you guys how to make a cool little cake, but we're going to steam it. And for me to steam it, I'm going to use the Instant Pot for that. But any steamer will work. So if you have one of those bamboo ones or some other kind of steamer, it's going to work. But I'm going to show you how to use the Instant Pot for it. And it's pretty easy. We're going to put some ingredients together, mix it up in a bowl, put it in here. The machine's going to do the rest of the work. And then after that, we just have to take it out, let it cool, and we're good to go. So it's pretty simple. And this little cake is pretty versatile too. The first one I made was just a plain one. And the plain one is pretty good. You're going to get some flavor from the vanilla we're going to put in it. And it kind of gives you the flavor of kind of like eating an ice cream cone with no ice cream. Just one of those little sugar cones. It's kind of what it tastes like. But they're pretty versatile little cakes. I've made a number of them. I made one that had some sliced up strawberries in it that was really good. I made one that I just mashed up a banana and mixed in the batter. That was pretty good. Then my daughter wanted one with strawberries and bananas, so we made one of those, and it turned out great. Today I'm going to show you, I'm going to put some blueberries in the one we're doing today. But there's all kinds of ways that you could make this work. You could throw a handful of, you could put some chocolate chips in there. You could maybe put some cinnamon in it, make a little cinnamon cake. Once you make one of these, I'm sure you'll have no trouble coming up with new ways to make them. Now before we get started, I just want to have a little reminder for you. I'm going to put a little link up in the top. There's a friend of the channel. She has another great cooking channel on YouTube. So do me a favor, give that link a click up there. Go check out her channel and watch her show. So you're going to enjoy it. She puts out a couple of videos a week and they're pretty good. And unlike me, she doesn't talk and blabber through the whole thing. So give her a check. I'd sure appreciate it if you go check her out. So to get started, is pretty simple, and I'll put the list of ingredients down below in the description so I won't run through all at once with you here today. Now for the Instant Pot to use this, I'm going to put some water in there, and then you're going to need one of these little trivets to hold the pan up off the bottom. So we'll put that in there, and then I'm using one of these springform pans. If you have a cake pan or any kind of pan that will fit in your Instant Pot, it's going to work. And this is a little bigger. I have a smaller one that I bought with a kit full of accessories for the Instant Pot, and it's easier to reach on in here. You can get out with your fingers. This one works, it fits, but it's pretty tight. Once you're out, we're going to cover this with foil, and once we put it in there, it's a little difficult to get out, but it works, and I'll show you how we'll do that. I've also got the inside of this little spring pan. I've got it lined with a piece of parchment paper. You'll definitely want to do that when this cake comes out, and as it dries, it's a little bit sticky, and it would be kind of a mess if you didn't do that. So just some parchment paper, cut a circle, put it in there. It's easy, I know you can do that. Alright, now just to make some room, I've got a couple cups of water I'm going to put into the Instant Pot to make our steam. So there's that. Then we're just going to put our batter together. And to do that, we're going to have to separate these 3 eggs. I'm not going to make you watch me do that. I've showed you how to do that before. Then we'll add these ingredients, mix them all up in a big bowl, pour them in our pan, and we'll get started. Let me show you how we're going to do it. Alright, now to get started, I've separated the eggs. I've got the whites in a separate bowl. I've got the 3 yolks in here. And then to that, we want to add a can of some sweetened condensed milk. Now the recipe calls for a cup. This is a little bit more than 1 cup. So what I found is if you just empty the can in here, and just let whatever's going to come out, come out. Don't go in there with the spatula and go crazy trying to get every drop. That's about a cup. So just kind of open it, get what you can out of there, give it a couple of little shakes, and there you go. So the inside of the can still has some in there, and that's going to be our cup. And then to that, I've got 1 cup of flour, and then just using a spatula, I'm just going to kind of break these yolks up and mix this before we put anything else in here. Alright, so now our yolks, flour, and our condensed milk are mixed together. Now to that, I've got half a stick of softened butter. And then we're going to put a teaspoon of vanilla in there. Like that. Then we want 3 tablespoons of some cornstarch. Then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Then we just want a half a teaspoon of salt and mix this all together. Alright, so now everything's mixed up. Now this is really thick and it's really stiff, but get it all mixed up. Now we're going to set this aside. Now we want to work on our egg whites. And if you have a hand mixer, you can do that. I'm just going to use a whisk and do this by hand. It'll take a few minutes. But we just want to whip our eggs until they get between a medium and a stiff peak. Okay, so after a couple of minutes, we get some pretty good peaks on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about half of it into our batter for now. And we'll just kind of slowly fold that in. It's going to be tough at first because this stuff is so thick. That's why I'm going to do it in batches. We'll do half and then the other half. There we go. First half is in. It's a little easier to work with. Now we'll do the other half. And again, you're not looking to mix this in. You know, you're not wanting to stir it in. We just want to nice and easy, just kind of go around and just fold it in there. That way it lightens this up a little bit. Alright, now that everything's folded in, now is where we're going to want to add any kind of mix-ins, any kind of fruit or whatever that you want to put in there. Now I'm not measuring these blueberries, I'm just going to eyeball it. You know, how well do you like whatever you're putting in there? You know, I don't want this to be a giant blueberry. I just want it to have some blueberries in it. And again, be gentle when you do it. Just kind of fold whatever you're putting in there. Just kind of easily fold it in there like that. Alright, now we're just going to pour it into our baking pan there. Then you just want to evenly kind of spread it around in there. And it wouldn't hurt to kind of give it a little jiggle and settle it in there really well like that. And then last thing, we want to cover it with some foil, because as it steams, we don't want the steam and the water from the steam getting down in our cake. We want to cover it up. Alright, now remember we've already put some water in here. We already have our little trivet to hold this up off the bottom. So now just take our pan, drop it right on top. Just like that. Put on our lid. Alright, now make sure if you're using an Instant Pot to steam, we want to put our vent on top. You want to put it to ceiling. I know that doesn't sound right, but that's what you want to do, put it to ceiling. And then come down here, we're going to pick steam. I already have this set to 45 minutes, so make sure you put it on steam for 45 minutes. It's on ceiling, and let it do the work. Alright, we're done. Let's get the steam out of there. Alright, be careful. Now for the tricky part. Alright, let's open it up and see how it looks. Now, even though it's out of the steamer, this thing is still hot, so be careful. Oh yeah. Now, it's separated a little bit. As it cools, it should separate a little more around the side. But this thing is super hot. So once it cools down, we'll have to let it sit here for maybe 15 minutes or so. Let it cool down. Then we'll go around the edge with a knife and loosen it up and take it out of the mold. Alright, after a few minutes of cooling down, it's still pretty warm. We can get the sides of it off. And it definitely has separated from the sides. It's stuck a little bit right there. So just go around with a knife and make sure it's nice and loosened up. Oh yeah. Ooh, and there's the side, nice and golden brown. I was surprised the first time I saw that when I steamed one of these of the amount of brownness that you get. Alright, we're cooled down now. It's just a little warm, not quite room temperature yet, but good enough to get off of our platter here. And here's where that paper come in handy. Oh yeah, peel right off. Got our fancy cake platter here. Oh yeah, looks good. Alright, long time of waiting. Let's see what it's like. Are you ready? Oh yeah. Now this cake is very dense, but it's also very spongy and springy. So I mean it doesn't fall apart. I mean it's there, but it's not hard, it's not tough. Oh, the blueberry was a good choice for this. It's really good. So the blueberries in here, excellent, really, really good. So this is really versatile. You can do a lot with this. Just about any fruit would work. Like I mentioned before, I've done strawberries, bananas. Those are both good. The blueberries is excellent in there. I did a plain one, which wasn't bad. My daughter liked that one. But I could definitely see putting other things, you know, putting some caramel in here would be good. Maybe breaking up some cookies in there might be good. Any other fruits you could think of would work in here. Some things you wouldn't want to do with this. This would not make a good birthday cake. You don't want to put frosting and birthday candles in here. That wouldn't be very good. And you don't need a lot to go with this. Like this cake doesn't need, you know, whipped cream or ice cream or anything else on it. It stands on its own. It's good just the way it is. And it's great because it's just, you can put so many things with it. So it really, really is good. I hope you give it a try. You saw that it wasn't very difficult to do. Whether you have an Instant Pot or some other way to steam this, you can make a little steamed cake that's really good. It doesn't take long to prepare it. So give it a try. Let me know what you put in yours. Don't forget to visit my little buddy up here. She does great work too, so go visit her channel. Tell her I sent you over there. Tell her I said hi. She'll appreciate the views. And give this a try. It's really, really good. You'll be glad you did. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.